Hi, Jared and Charise. How are you doing today?
Good.
Doing
How are
great.
you?
How's it going?
Great. Thank you so much. Encanto was just such a gorgeous movie. I'm so excited to be talking about it with you guys today.
Oh, thank you.
So nice.
I suppose my very first question about Encanto was what really struck me was just how relatable these characters are. And I was wondering, was that something that you guys talked a lot about? Was that quality of relatability, both to the characters and to the story more generally?
Sure, absolutely. So that was something we were, it was a story about family. And so that was forefront in our mind. We really wanted to make each of these characters someone that you could point to and say like, oh, that's exactly like my aunt, or like, we also don't talk about my uncle, whatever. So it was what we were thinking about from the very beginning, and all of the sort of special gifts and abilities that the characters have are really born out of those traits, those sort of really common family roles that we know so well, like the really strong, responsible one or the golden child. That was actually the beginning of our thinking on all the characters.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And I think that individuals will kind of respond to it differently because Mirabel is, that feeling of not being special. I think that a lot of us relate to it. But for me, I really came away from it like Luisa completely stole my heart. I mean, like that whole, like her whole song about taking on too much and not wanting to let people down. I just think that that's such a relatable quality again, and something that I think a lot of adults and maybe adult women will be able to kind of immediately relate to, and it'll resonate with them. So was that kind of the thinking behind that character and that intention?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's actually it's really cool. One of the things that's so fun about this movie is working with Lin-Manuel. He was with us from day one. Songwriters are never part of Disney musicals day one, but from day one, so it's been 5 years we've been working with them. And Charise and I were going through the script, trying to figure out all these characters. And Luisa was one we loved, but we needed help cracking. And I remember when Lynn went off to write her song and brought it back, what I didn't know is that his oldest sister is very much Luisa. And so he really put his own life experience into that character and into that song. And we knew she's going to be very tough and strong, but that vulnerability underneath all that was something that was very important to him, very personal to him. So when that came back, having that side to her really changed how we saw the character, and we rippled it through the entire script. So I think it just kind of goes to the collaborative process that was so fun on this movie with Lynn.
Absolutely, because I have to ask you as well about working with Lin-Manuel Miranda, because he's just, oh my gosh, he's just doing gangbusters at the moment. But I mean, like the soundtracks that he's able to develop, and just the way he's able to like really get to the heart of these so many, such a diverse range of communities and nationalities. That's something that's really extraordinary. So yeah, can you talk to me a little bit more about working with him on the soundtrack?
Absolutely. I think one of my favorite things about working with Lin, not only is he just a very sweet and generous collaborator, but he really approaches songwriting from a character perspective first. It's always, his songs are very character driven. So even the choices of musical styles that he made for the different characters in the movie were very related to who those people were. Luisa's song is reggaeton, which is like this driving beat. So for the strongest member of the family, it made a lot of sense. And then Isabella's song is this whole kind of rock en español homage, and for the kind of princess character in the movie, it made a lot of sense. So, and then of course, Dos Oruguitas, which is one of my favorite songs in the movie, is Abuela Alma's moment and feels like a folk song that's always existed. So, and then incredibly, he weaves all those things together in the final song, which I think is just the biggest mark of his genius. So it was a dream come true working with Lin-Manuel.
Absolutely, 100%. I suppose my very last question for you guys then would be about Stephanie Beatriz, because she's just, she's so gorgeous as Mirabel. And it's so funny because I primarily, and I think a lot of people would be in the same boat, know her as Rosa Diaz in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And this is such a like different character, and her voice as well. Like she really like kind of actively changed her voice to create those two distinct characters. So can you talk to me a little bit about working with her as kind of your lead vocalist as well?
Sure. Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned that, because obviously we knew her as Diaz from Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well. So when she came in, she actually came in to read for the part of Luisa, because we were so used to that. And then she started talking to us, and we're like, that's not her voice at all. So in the movie, that's her normal voice. She's not putting on a voice for it. That's literally how she speaks. And as soon as we heard her There's so much charm and humor and specificity and quirk. And for this character who has to be imperfect and lovable and be able to sing and be super emotional, it's like 1,000 things that she had to do. Literally, as soon as we heard, like, that's Mirabel. And I cannot imagine anyone else being able to do it. I mean, I think something that was really fun for Charise and I is that she would ad-lib a lot of the lines. So a lot of what you hear in the movie is actually just Stephanie having fun and messing around, both in areas that are comedic, but also in some of the emotional parts as well. So that was a real joy. I'd say one thing I did not know was just what an unbelievable singer she is. Because in this movie, she has the fastest song in Disney history. The opening song is 1 bajillion words, and it's unbelievable. Like 5 accordionists didn't make it to the end of that song. So like, we can't, it's too much. But she nailed it. And then she has super emotional songs too. So I think her performance is a real standout in this film.
Absolutely brilliant. And I apologize, by the way, I was calling her Mirabel there instead of Mirabel, so apologies for that. But
not to worry.
We will have to leave it there. I could talk to you guys about this movie all day, but thank you so much. And I'm so excited for everyone to see it.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.
Mirabel, delivery. I gave you the special since you're the only Madrigal kid with no gift. I call it the not special since, you have no gift.
Thanks.